get ready into our grand finals. It happened off screen, or at least off this screen, but Cure did take down Bjorn 2-0, and so now we have a TvT finals. Well, we're gonna have a TvT finals regardless, but we have a TvT finals between Oliveira and Cure. I just said both of their names, which is... Anyway, we're gonna kick off our best of 5 grand finals. There's still a little bit of time left if you do want to place down a wager for your grapes and get your gamba going. But anyway, we're gonna get into our best of 5 grand finals, kicking it off on site Delta over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left. We of course have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is of course the mayor of Six City himself. He is going to be representing Team Liquid. We have Cure.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran player, the red Terran, representing Weibo Gaming. It is Oliveira. Getting 2 racks. Let's go.
Yep.
It is gonna be a purchase direct here out of Cure now. Thankfully for Oliveira, he is not opening up economically. So the way this works on site Delta, it is very common to go for a racks expand just because of how defendable this setup is on 2 bases, because of the ramp, because of the narrow choke point here into the main. But Oliveira plays it safe. Double gas means a faster factory, means a faster Hellion, means faster defense against the aggression that's coming his way.
And that's just about the easiest way to shut down 2x Reapers coming your way. There's a little bit of a window here for Cure if he can really dive in with his 2 Reapers and then just keep chipping away or camp the production a little bit of Oliveira, but it is a very small window, and all Oliveira really needs to do is pull a couple of boys, a couple of SCVs to zone away the army and just keep that Hellion alive. Oliveira scouts, and his hand has been revealed. Yeah,
it does overextend though. The Reaper taking a lot of hits. Boys have to be pulled. The Reaper is very low. We have a lot of time to buy. We have to buy a lot of time here for that factory to finish for the first Hellion to pop out. Until then, we do have the Reaper advantage. Cure does dive in, but does not get the Reaper. Not yet. Ooh, almost.
And very tight control coming out here from Oliveira, using these SCVs to kind of zone away damage. And now we switch from Reaper production, at least from Oliveira, to Marine production.
Yeah, we're getting into those
much quicker.
They do. We're getting into those Marines as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, the Cyclone is on the way. Meanwhile, if you're in the chat, predictions are open for like 10 seconds. Place your get your gamba going. Place your bets. Otherwise, predictions will soon close. Meanwhile, Cure is transitioning back at home. The aggression has subsided. Still has some Reapers to work with, but now with the Cyclone, Oliveira has held.
He has held. And Cure will have map control for a little while longer, but we'll see for how much longer, as now that the Cyclone is out, it's not just the end of aggression here for Cure, but Oliveira also has an opportunity to go across the map if he so chooses. These 2 Reapers back... What the hell were they doing back on the other side of the map?
I think Cure was maybe a little bit afraid of a counterattack and like some kind of backstab, so there we go. He does kind of rally everything together, up to 5 Reapers. He does threaten a dive. The Rax will confirm the army location, so he sees Oliveira being dragged over towards the right hand side, which means Cure could try to dive into the main, but Oliveira's in position. He's ready for it.
Yeah, if there was ever a time to go for that dive, that time has passed. Cure's still gonna position those Reapers close-ish by Oliveira's base, just in case he has an opportunity somewhere to dive in and maybe pick up a couple of SCVs. But for the most part, Oliveira has defended, and we're gonna slow down and get into a more standard game.
Yeah, we're backing off. We can see Cure getting his base on location. Oliveira is a little bit slower here, as we do have to expand and land at the natural base. This Rex could even land and just be a little bit more annoying, but the Rex will finally burn down, and we're settling in towards the mid-game. It's going to be tank as well as Raven production here from Oliveira. Likewise, we do see Cure going for his own tanks, but going for a medevac first instead.
Interesting choice here coming out from Cure. He did get that safety Viking, but it looks like he is just trying to set up for a drop before getting into Raven play.
Yeah, we are setting up that drop, getting across the map, looking to apply some pressure. Meanwhile, Oliveira is stabilizing. Third CC on the way for Oliveira, slightly faster than the third base of Cure, but both players are working on their thirds, which means both players are looking to get into longer games.
Indeed, which hopefully not too long coming in here, as we know that TvT has a bit of a propensity for going into split map scenarios like this. This is a fake out drop. I love it.
I mean, it forces Oliveira back home. Unironically, does force a big reaction here. Cure going in for a scout. Oh, does threaten a drop. Will pull back, and Oliveira is pinned back at home because of this singular medevac. So very nicely done so far, but we have to be careful to lose the medevac itself.
That we do. That's going to be the only medevac Cure's working with for a while, so yeah, getting it taken out will reduce his micro potential, drop potential, and his healing potential as well, as Cure is going to set up for a straight up push. He's got three Vikings actually, and he's setting up for a couple of Liberators.
Yeah, this is very dedicated push here from Cure. He's expanding, he is taking a third, but likewise, we're still moving out with everything we have across the map, and Oliveira is in position. We do have 2 tanks, we do have 2 Ravens. The Sable was researched, so Oliveira has a lot of potential with these Ravens. Then here come the Vikings.
Oof. Yeah, Vikings gonna pin this back. Only 3 Marines on the ground, so 1 Raven does get sniped by the Vikings.
Yeah, that's honestly a really massive pickoff. The Raven has so much potential here, so much value to the army for that Raven count to be cut in half is massive. Can we get the other? We can't quite, but we can zone the Raven away.
Indeed, we can. We're waiting for the Liberators again to position like so. And I mean, that Raven, it's got 2 disables on it, or will have 2 disables on it, but right now it only has 1. Tanks are zoning away the Marines. Vikings are zoning away the Ravens. Liberators are zoning away the tanks.
Yeah, and here we go. We have to pull the boys to try to pull out the tanks. Nice disables here out of Oliveira coming in from behind. He shuts down the tanks. He shuts down the Liberator, and Oliveira, he breaks free.
And I was so patient here from Oliveira with his tanks, or with his Raven, sorry. Sneaking around from behind, not opting for the Liberator, but rather opting for the tanks, as they were the splash damage units. Because of that, he was able to break free with his Marines. Cure gonna stand strong in the middle of the map with his tanks though, and does kind of cut down the bio count here of Oliveira.
Yeah, there was some big volleys going off on the main army. Meanwhile, we get on top of the tanks, and it looks like Cure has overextended. 2 tanks go down. The Vikings are forced back as well. Oliveira, we can try to keep pushing. Remember, the third base is up and running for Cure, but can he hold on to it?
That we shall see. His tank count did get reset. Some very good Marine spread here from Oliveira earlier on. Really limiting the amount of splash damage he was taking.
Oh yeah, it did limit that splash damage, as Oliveira is moving out once again, hoping to limit it once again. The first tank has siege up, but again, it's only 1 tank for Cure, so we can still break this position, but it's not going to be easy as the tanks are getting within range.
Can we? Looks like we can, yeah. Well, we can, but we have to sacrifice the bio count to do so, but here come the reinforcements from Oliveira. GG is called. Oliveira, with a bit of a patient defense, is able to break out and immediately go for the counterattack for the game number 1, for a game 1 victory.
GG, well played. A very, very tense game there. Things were looking dire initially for Oliveira, losing that first Raven, but very clutch move to kick things off, to sneak and skirt that Raven around from behind to get those disables off was massive. We broke out, then immediately counterattacked, and again, Cure just lost a little bit too much out on the map.
Indeed, he did. He overextended way too much after that. After the breakout from Oliveira, that's usually the tip-off for the Terran player to say, okay, I need to retreat, I need to go back home and set myself up in a bit more of a defensible location. But Cure, overestimating the power of his tanks, I think, and underestimating the Marine spread of Oliveira.
Oh yeah, did underestimate, and with that, we are getting into our next game, into game number 2. Settling in to the rest of our series here. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping that we can have a dynamic series here, but the pressure is now on Cure. Of course, we're being let know in the chat that historically, these matches have been in favor of Oliveira. But, you know, nowadays both players are peaking, both players are looking strong. Cure did just take down Bjorn, he's in form, and in a best of 5, this could still go either way.
Yeah, it really very much so could. As we load on and continue our series now on to Oceanborn. Over here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left, we of course have our blue Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He of course is going to represent his team, Team Liquid. We have the mayor of Six City himself. He is Cure.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Weibo Gaming, who leading the series 1-0. It is Oliveira. Hello.
That's, yeah, another proxy coming up from Cure.
Yeah, it is only a singular proxy Rex, but this time it is far closer. This time it's right in the natural base. With this, we can try to get a little bit faster damage done here, try to gain momentum earlier on. We'll see if Cure can get away with this, as Oliveira has yet to confirm what's going on, opening up this time what looks to be a little bit more economically.
Yeah. So we'll see if Cure can take advantage of this with his proxy. I mean, Raxus are about to finish up at roughly the same time. And it should be a Reaper expand coming out here from Oliveira, as Cure is not looking to build a Reaper at all from this particular Rax. Is there vision?
No, not within vision, not
no
yet.
vision.
Yeah, so we're going for a proxy marauder here from Cure.
Now he sees.
Now he does confirm what's going on, and now Oliveira did go for an economic opener. It's a Rax expand, only a single gas, and there we go. Forced to cancel the CC, and will be throwing down his bunker and his factory back in his main.
Just like so. And all Oliveira wanted was to expand. He just wanted to get his natural, but now he's being forced to build a factory. Now he's forced to build units.
Yeah, he's forced to build up back in the main base. Marauder going straight for the building SCV. SCV is forced back, but more boys are being pulled. Looks like the bunker should be able to finish in time. We should be able to wrap it up, as one SCV did go down.
Yeah, one SCV falls. Concussive shells not finished just yet. Only 2 Marauders here from Cure.
Yeah, meanwhile across the map, we do have the Reaper getting some damage done, forcing some lost mine time here out of Cure as well.
Yeah, forcing a couple of resources to be spent repairing as well. Great flank here coming out from Cure. Good flank of SCVs. Will be able to take out the Reapers without losing any of his own workers there.
Yeah, nice defense here out of Cure. Behind this, getting into his 1-1-1. Likewise, Oliveira stuck on one base as well, going for his own starport setup. No expansions for either player. The bunker is done, and we force back the Rax.
Yeah, well, I normally would say that Marauders are a bunker buster. In this case, you're gonna need more than 2.
Yeah, as we have stopped Marauder production. No concussive shell either. The Rax is floating back. Meanwhile, Cure expanding on location. Okay, so it's not going to be a one base all in. We are expanding. We are transitioning. Cure likewise working on double Cyclone production to maintain map control. Oliveira is going for his own base as well.
Is going for his own base. And what I like about this setup here for Oliveira, he has a free tech lab that he can take it at any point if he so chooses.
He does. True. That's not quite how it works, but sure. Mate, do you remember the neutral add-ons that used to be a feature?
Yeah,
like
that was
years
teased.
ago. Yeah,
that was teased a while ago, and I was like, yeah, this is something map makers can utilize. but I think they figured out that it was going to be a nightmare to balance in a matchup that isn't in any matchup that isn't TvT.
Yeah.
It'll be a nightmare to balance.
Shout out to StarCraft Clan Wars. It did feature, neutral, I think, like tech labs and reactors out on the map that you could use to proxy and stuff like that. Likewise, I don't think we used neutral turrets. I remember they had a Team Liquid map contest where they had that available, but I don't think any of them made it into the map pool, unfortunately.
I like to imagine that the only reason why that existed was specifically to spike TB, so that more people would proxy tanks.
True.
Just to spike Total Biscuit.
As we do get the Cyclone drop into the main base, SCVs are going down at the same time. Oliveira, he's committed, moving everything across the map. There's nothing at home to defend, no army whatsoever. The tank is about to spawn in, but this is so much damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. But there's nothing here to defend for Cure either. So, yeah, this base is going to be forced to be lifted up. There actually a decent number of Cyclones and not much of a buffer here for the tank.
We have the orders
pulled.
We have our orders with the Cyclones. The tank is going to go down. Cure is going to completely shut down this drop and force it all the way back. Meanwhile, we still have some chaos ensuing. GG gets called. Just too much chaos, and Cure ties us up 1-1.
GG. This is... I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, but we're used to casting PvP in our grand finals here in ESL Open Cup Asia, and you know those PvPs, especially with hero involved, with classic involved, they tend to go by very quickly. I thought, you know, with a TvT, we would be able to sink our teeth into a bit of a longer series, but so far game 1 has been was 8 minutes long, game 2, 5.5 minutes long. This might this might actually be one of our shorter finals with just how aggressive both of our players have been coming out so far.
Oh yeah, this has been a very chaotic series so far, very back and forth, but it's kind of been because of Cure. I mean, game 1, Proxy 2 racks, game 2, Proxy 1 racks, game 3. Well, what comes next? Where does the math take us? We're going down.
Proxy half racks.
Half rack. Okay. It's gonna be a rack.
Yeah, he'll build it halfway and then yeah, exactly. He'll build it halfway and he'll pull the Reaper away. Or pull the SUV away. Anyway. That's math. Anyway. I'm going to be continuing our series now on to Crimson Court. We're over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea, spawning here in the top right, but also making his way immediately across the map. Representing Team Liquid, he is Cure.
Getting proxy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player sending 2 SCVs out on the map. It's proxy versus proxy. Let's go! We have the Chinese Terran, the red Terran representing Weibo Gaming. It is Oliveira.
It's 2018 again.
We should have known that's where the math goes. It goes from 2 to 1 up to 3, but not the way we were expecting here. So Cure going for the 1 racks, but Oliveira going for proxy 2 racks instead. Oh.
Yeah, and I mean this is just based on the math. This has got to favor Oliveira, right?
Yeah, I mean, the problem here is that the first racks are pretty lined up with each other, so the first units are going to be hitting at the same time. The problem is that Oliveira will have reinforcements, will have an additional production behind this, so they can then overwhelm. From my understanding, especially with the tech lab, we're going to have to evacuate, and we may just trade bases. As in where like you just evacuate, you lift up, and you go to where your production is. That's usually how Proxy 2X Reaper goes, but this is Marauder, so this is going to be a little bit different. Things are about to get weird.
Are we going to get concussive shell? I mean, concussive shells are definitely a way to shut down Reapers. If your Marauders are, anywhere in position to deal with those Reapers.
Yeah. It's gonna get rowdy here. So again, typically when it's proxy versus proxy, we have a factory full of interesting. Both players will have to give up their mineral lines, and both players will evacuate. Here we go, boys are being pulled to fight actually the initial Reaper. So far so good, but we do not yet know that there's a second Reaper already on the way.
Yeah, we do not, but I think Cure has kind of pieced things together just by his initial scout in the main base. It's gonna be tough for him to keep his mineral line alive, but if he can and he can survive, he will be favored as the game continues. Factory about to finish up, the Concussive Shell finished up, and okay, Cure's continuing to build Marauders.
I don't know how I like this. Yeah, we're going for the depot. The depot will supply local Oliveira, but we're mining.
I think it's good.
We're going to be banking up a lot of resources.
I think that's actually a good call.
We'll see, because if Oliveira evacuates, we have a lot more money to work with, and we can break free from the supply block. And in saying that, Cure is losing everything back at home.
Yeah. Well, in theory, you can break free from the supply block, but we're just going to chase down these. We're just going to chase down these SCVs, and there's absolutely no way that Oliveira can fight Cure if we go head to head.
True, true. In a head-to-head fight, as you mentioned, Marauders will take down these Reapers. Boys will help them. We're going to be able to pull the boys to help buffer and support these Reapers. Meanwhile, the Raxes are floating on over again. We're trading bases and bases. We've seen this before in Proxy v Proxy. And who is it going to favor here at the end? Bunkers on the way.
Bunkers on the way here for Oliveira. And these Marauders are not here. Cure, he has no idea what's coming his way. He's spending too much. Yeah, okay, now he's wasting too much time.
We'll see. I mean, as you mentioned, like, Marauders are ideal against like breaking through bunkers, right? They are bunker busters, if you will. We have the Cyclone as well. We have a lot of DPS here this time. We do scan ahead of time. The bunker's not done.
Bunker is about to finish up, though. And our Reapers can retreat back into it. Do we have enough Marauders to take this out?
It's gonna be close as the CC is floating on over. We're soon to be resuming mining in the main base. Cure has to break through. He cannot let this get up and running. Cure is also mining somewhat with one SCV here in the center of the map, but we cannot let this get up and running here for Oliveira.
Cure, man, he lacks a killer instinct.
I mean, we'll see.
He just went straight for it. He would have won by now.
Potentially, as again, we'll see if the longer this goes on, the worse it is, right? The longer this goes on, the better it is for Oliveira, the worse it is for Cure as we are resuming mining.
We are resuming mining. We're throwing down mules as well. We're no longer supply blocked, or Oliveira is no longer supply blocked, and yeah, Cure, he had a massive window of opportunity to win this game, and he completely gave it up.
Yeah, as the Reaper goes to the mineral line and does get eyes on the mining, and the Reaper is going to be shut down, but we get a kill in the SCV. There's just the mule left here for Cure. We have our production back up and running as well. And
we have high ground vision.
True. We have high ground vision. True. I guess. Yeah.
And we've resumed mining, but I mean, there's still not that much. Cure's army is technically better looking at the moment. We're sending in the SCV to buffer as well.
Okay, we just walked past the bunker.
Yeah, not a bad choice.
And not a bad choice, but here comes this around. The SCVs have arrived. The Reapers go ham, and we're going to clean everything up.
Yeah, Cure, he had no more room to kite. GG is called. Oliveira will take Cure's base and will take that game. GG.
GG, well played. This
Another less than 6 minute long game.
True. I'm reminded so much of we casted a series. I think it was I casted a series ESL Open Cup Americas. This was on hard lead. This was like 2 map pools ago.
That was like a while ago. Yeah.
Beyond versus Clem on hard lead. Similar scenario, except it was Proxy Reaper versus Proxy Reaper, and same thing where we had to lift up and kind of like base trade in the sense where the CCs had to land on opposite ends of the map, and we had to resume mining. But as you mentioned, unfortunately, Cure did not save any workers. Cure, he had one SCV, like he had no economy to sustain himself.
Well, I mean, he didn't have any save any workers. Like, he was sacrificing his workers, but then also didn't go for the kill when he absolutely could have and absolutely should have. And he had if he just continued to chase down those SCVs before, even if he managed to go back up into the ramp before that bunker got up and running, absolutely 100%. I think with his 4 Marauders and 1 Cyclone at this time, it was 4 Marauders, and then a little while later it would be joined by 1 Cyclone. Easily beats 5 Reapers.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a doubt.
It's one of those things where, like, if you're knowingly sacrificing your economy like that in favor of these Marauders and of these Cyclones, like, we need to make use of that as quickly as possible, right? Like, the timer is on, the pressure is on Cure in that scenario, and unfortunately it took a little bit too long to get into the main, right? Like, if you remember, we waited outside at the third base location for a while. Like, we had to send it.
He was setting himself up very well as for that too, like taking out those supply depots, forcing the supply block, and forcing a bit of a preemptive lift from Oliveira. So Cure set himself up perfectly and then just kind of blew it. You know what the problem was? Cure was thinking. And scenarios like that, you just gotta go. You just gotta send it.
We're getting into our next game, and sporting in the right-hand corner of Alkione, we have our blue Terran player from South Korea representing Team Liquid down in this series. He needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is Cure. Hello, SCV.
Yeah, SCV still once again going across the map as the second SCV potentially going there as well. Anyway, here we are on the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left of Alkione. Getting proxied again. We have our red Terran player coming out from the land of China. He is, of course, going to be representing his new-ish team. His new team, which is basically the old team, but rebranded. Weibo Gaming, WG. We have Oliveira.
Okay, so it's going to be 2x Reaper here out of Cure. Once again, 2 SCVs out towards the left-hand side. Oliveira, do we risk it? Oh, we go for a defensive 2x!
He's adapted. He's learned. He's figured out what Cure wants to do tonight, and he's more than willing to meet him there.
How long has the series been? Like 15 minutes? Like 5-minute games back to back to back? Like that what's happened?
If we include the downtime as we got into lobbies, 25 minutes. Less than half an hour, for sure.
Okay, wait, we're not done. We're cooking, Bob. So it's not 2x Reaper. It is going to be Marauder production here at a Cure. So a couple of different things. A 2x opener back at home here for Oliveira. This hard counters Proxy Reaper. It does hard counter it. Against Proxy Marauder with a second tech lab on the way. I'm not sure how the math works here. This is going to be an interesting one.
Well, we don't have concussive shells yet, and that's really the main advantage that Marauders have against Reapers, at least in the early game. Okay, now we're taking into it, so
yeah.
I want to favor Cure, but part of me favoring Cure is also just that desire to get a game number 5.
Yeah, this can get really weird. So Oliver is banking up these Reapers. He's checking on the right-hand side just in case it's a proxy. If he moves out, we could end up in a similar scenario where Cure loses all these SCVs. At the same time, Cure will kill all the SCVs of his opponents. But we're in a different scenario just because... Oh, he does confirm. There we go. We do get eyes on those Marauders. CC on the low ground should be cancelled. It might be able to buy a little bit of time here. Bunkers on the way on the high ground, and there's a cancel.
There is a cancel. And Cure, you gotta send it, Papi.
He does have to send it. There we go. Boys are being pulled in. Can we get on top of that bunker? Can we break through this ramp?
Yeah, not with the body blocking from these SCVs.
Yeah.
One Marauder already gonna go down. Another one gonna go down as well.
Yeah, one Marauder left here, and it looks like Oliveira, he's shutting this down. Now, we do have additional reinforcements that have arrived, but we bought time. What did we buy time for? The bunker. The bunker is now done. We have the high ground and the Reapers that going across the map, looking to cripple the economy of Cure. Cure already evacuated. He knows what's coming.
He's not evacuating. He's sending. He's sending them all across the map is what's happening. He's not lifting his CC at all.
Yeah, he's mining as much as he can. Now, what I do like about this position is we can actually take the gold. Like, we could float over and take the gold base, and like, we can have a better... Yeah, we can have a bit of a better economy here. Instead, the Reapers arrive. There's not as many workers to kill, not anymore, and they're coming in to reinforce those Marauders.
Yeah, more importantly, those Reapers aren't at home. They're not going to be able to defend. We do have the bunker up and running, and we filled them completely with Marines, but the SCVs are going to come in and provide a bit of a buffer here for Cure. He's sending it. He's sending it.
And here we go. The boy versus boy, and we're diving on it. We're focusing on the bunker. The repairs are real so far. The first Marauder going to be focused on the second Marauder as well. Down to 4 Marauders.
They're down to 4 Marauders, and it's getting pretty chaotic. Not a lot of target firing coming out from that bunker, but it looks like the repairs are going to be potentially good enough. We
get all the Marauders. We get them all. We focus them all down.
There's no income.
Yeah, there's no income. We shut this down. We hold. GG gets called, and Oliveira will take the series 3-1.
It's official. It is official. Our TvT Grand Finals was shorter than the PvP we had last week.
True.
Right.
That's Korean TvT for you, Papi. You know, this ain't no EU TvT where we get up to 3 bases, get up to a 4th base, you know, cut the map. No. We do things differently here in Korea, okay?
Yeah.
GG.
GG. Very nicely done here from Oliveira. It felt like he was caught a little bit off guard in game number 1, or not necessarily, yeah, caught off a little bit off guard in game number 1, but he was able to formulate a bit of a defense against that, brought him into game number 2. Game number 2 went more in Cure's favor. Twas the, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the proxy marauder into counterattack from Oliveira into a bunch of cyclones, so that worked out pretty well for Cure there. And then game 3 and game 4 was just pure chaos, and Oliveira Oliveira by his own choice and by his own practice partners that he usually has in TvT, he's much more accustomed and much more comfortable in chaos than Cure is, evidently.
Clearly. GG, well played. Oliveira does take it in the end. Congratulations, as Oliveira is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. And Cure came close. I mean, hey, Cure, he knocked down Bjorn to make it this far. You know, he had a very deep run, very nice performance. In the finals themselves, it was a little bit different, a bit of a different story. But Cure, he took down Shin, took down Bjorn. And against Bjorn, we had more macro games. Like, we didn't cast it ourselves, but we saw, like, there was like a 20-minute game on Alkione, like, with Bio Tank.
Is Cure versus Oliveira the classic versus hero of TvT?
Maybe,
or it's like Cure and classic, they want to play macro in the mirror matchup typically, but there's just this one specific player that activates the ancient reptile brain. It's like, I need to kill you as soon as possible.
It's the problem is that I'm pretty sure, like, you get this moment in the series where you proxy once and it doesn't work, and then you feel that much more. You have that much more, like,
it's like
within you that wants to make it work. Yeah, exactly. You become a little bit more stubborn, a little bit more of that kind of.
I know it'll work.
Yeah, reptile
brain. I just want to see
brain
it work once.
that activates, and you're like, I know I can kill you with the proxy. I know. I just have to do it. I just have to do it, and he commits.
It's like, no, it's not the build that's wrong. It's just the execution. You know. And you know what? That is fair. That is a lot of the times that is the correct diagnosis, right? But not this time.
Congrats! I mean, again, shout out to Oliveira, with his experience and his reading of the situation, his openers, and a bit of metagaming as well to open up safely, like in this final game as well, to open up 2 racks back at home. That is the safest build you can go for, designed to counteract proxies. So it's just a really good reading of the game state here from Oliveira.
Yeah, realizing that Cure, for whatever reason, he signed a deal with Devil, I guess, question mark, that he, no matter what, in tonight's finals, he has proxy every single game.
He does. And with that wraps up our finals here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We had an amazing tournament and even road to the finals. We covered Trap earlier, having a deep run. We covered Oliveira versus Dark. Some amazing series. If this TvT finals didn't satiate you, I recommend checking out the VODs for the semis, the quarters, and the round of 16, because there were some amazing matches nonetheless that were held earlier today. I do recommend.
Yeah. Absolutely recommend. I especially recommend the first 2 series specifically to Gemini.
True. Yeah, Trap was popping off earlier today, and with that does wrap us up. ESL Open Cup Europe is going to be in a couple of hours. Now, there is some bittersweet news about ESL Open Cup Europe. As was stated earlier, is a lot of the casters and talent that was at Home Story Cup is still traveling. Wardy, I imagine, is still traveling. Rotterdam as well. Steadfast, I'm sure he is. It is a shorter trip for Roddy and Wardy, but I don't know if they're coming over or something.
I know it's going to be a shorter trip for Wardy because it's a plane. For Roddy, though, he's reliant on German rail, on Deutsche Rail, so...
Yeah. So
it's a shorter distance. But longer time, potentially.
Yeah, so because of that, there might actually not be that much coverage of ESL Open Cup Europe. We could stay up for it, but usually what we do here on the CranKy Ducklings is cover ESL Asia and ESL Americas. Those are the 2 that we cover. And if we want to cover Americas, we usually, or at least I usually, sleep for Europe. Where I'm in bed, papi, I'm in bed. I have to sleep at some point, so yeah, there should be other language casters, I imagine Funka's gonna be there, I imagine Indie's gonna be there, there's gonna be other language coverage. When it comes to English coverage, I'm not so certain.
fingers crossed. Which, Communicast is out there. If you're approved for ESL, if you're approved for ESL Open Cup, now's the time.
Yeah, this is the time for Zombie Grub to shine, for Chicken Man, Dave Testa. Usually they all cover ESL Open Cup Americas. Usually they're all on Americas, but if they wake up a little bit earlier, then they can cover Europe as well, and hope they do.
They wake up a little bit earlier, and if they don't have anything going on a Monday, which,
yeah,
is probably the rougher part. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So best of luck to all the other coverage that's going to be happening there. I hope we have an English caster covering ESL Europe. Maybe BMOF as well. I know BMOF is very hit and miss when it comes to covering ESL Open Cups. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not.
I mean, here's the thing. BMOF, we know that he's not a DGen, but because he's not a DGen, I'm pretty sure he's also usually busy on weekdays, so on weekday afternoons. So
yeah. So we'll see what happens. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in 12 hours time. In around 12 hours time, we're going to be live on the channel with ESL Open Cup Americas.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Or, well, no, that's a promise. We are going to be live for ESL Open Cup NA. So, or at least Light will be. I'm going to be in bed.
There you go.
6 a.m. for me.
There you go. With that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Yaku, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the evening?
I did, but I forgot it. I wanted to bring something up earlier, but now I forgot what it was. You know what? That TvT broke my brain.
It's it was a thing of beauty.
I did not realize that it was legal to have a best of 5 TvT last this short.
It was beautiful. With that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much everyone for the support. Again, we're going to be back in 12 hours time with ESL Americas, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah. Tuck in your tempest.
Tuck them in.
Tuck them in. That's our advice or not our advice, but our reminder to the adults in chat.
There you go.
Or the parents in chat.
See you guys next time. Bye. Ciao.
Bye, Bella.